Flashlights. Hey, good morning. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. There we go, red light. There you go. And we are here to talk about Agile and Scrum and ways to work more efficiently. And this is show 64. And please, hope you're liking and subscribing. What we're doing here is sharing as much as possible. It's all appreciated. 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. And got a lot of interesting news. Got some news in there. I got my 5013C paperwork from the IRS. So soon I'll have news on different activities. Anyway, so that was big news. So this is like planned but unplanned work. I got to do it now. I got to build a website, and the next week build all kinds of things and start collecting money for the 5013C. So things are always moving, right? You always got new stuff to the backlog, what's coming up, what's got a priority. Happens in work in real life too, and anytime you're trying to do new things. But anyway, we're here to talk about Agile and Scrum. And I'll talk more about Agile release trains, PI stuff later on. I don't want to do it so close to my sessions I had today. I got another day of it today. It was very interesting, very large orchestrated. I have a different opinion on how these things should operate than what we're doing now. But getting down to the heart of what big interaction of people and personalities are. But I want to talk about two things today. I saw a thing on LinkedIn. It was a video on saying, they were saying just working harder is more difficult than it sounds. And a lot of times I hear a lot of teams talk about working harder, and I don't want to say that. I think you should work, just don't work on things that are not needed at the time. Very lean thought process. And if you noticed a lot of trends in the way I've been presenting stuff about capacity and commitment and overcommitment, and a lot of all that stuff just dictates to you working on stuff that is not needed at this time. And by not working on stuff that's not needed, you have more time to do stuff that's really needed. And therefore, you don't need to work harder at what you do. It's a different mindset on how to do things, right? It's a different mindset. Let's hire more people. Let's work harder. Let's work 60, 50 hours. Let's work all these extra hours. We just need to do it better. We need to spend more time on it. And my thing is just don't work on the things that just can't be done, and don't try to tell everybody you're going to work on all this stuff and then it just doesn't get done. People would argue me, we need to do it all, but you can't do it all. You have to, and this is key in Agile and Scrum. And because it's a very fine, it's a good combination, key of, you have to realize you can't do everything. And two, you only have so much time to get it done in. As a program manager for 30 years and project manager, I love Scrum. I love having these little tiny windows of time, because I've seen it so many times where people abuse this time because they're so unorganized and they have so many things on their list that they're happy to keep pushing things to the right or taking more time because they're so busy doing 50 other little things. And therefore, they don't get to spend the quality time on the thing that's important that needs to be delivered now. And what Agile and Scrum does is it makes you change your brain on how do you address stuff. You only work on things that you are going to deliver next week or in 2 weeks or whatever. The very next delivery should be really short, versus everything on the planet. I need to work on a little bit on everything. Is like, no, that's not very efficient. In fact, you're jumping and starting and going all over the place. So I just think part of that is, and it's kind of harder to say, well, how do I know what is not needed? Part of it is prioritization. And one of the big things I see a lot of Scrum Masters and Agile coaches and organizations don't do enough of is prioritize. I'm going to say the backlog, right? There's going to be a repeated theme throughout all these sessions. I think I'm going to loop around a lot of stuff because there's so many ways to look at it. but prioritizing the backlog. I was talking about the other day, I was talking about some people that were BAs and product owners, and I had the CEO of the company to agree to pay for everybody to go to CSPO class, just to learn what it takes to be a product owner, what the job of a product owner is. And I really do think it's very important. I don't teach the class, so it's not a plug. I actually took the class. Actually, the first legitimate Scrum Alliance class I took was my CSPO, because I got the Scrum Master stuff. I know how to project man. I know how to get the teams organized. I've been a training facilitator for 20 years before I ever did this stuff. But what I was always having troubles with, what does the product owner, why am I having such problems with the product owner prioritizing the work, grouping stuff? And it really just takes time to work with them to get what need to be done. But if you can just not work on things that are not needed, very lean concept, right? And prioritize your workload will help you get there. You just got to work on it. And so many people don't. You need every day, just like, what are my priorities today? And that's the beauty of the daily Scrum. You prioritize what you're going to work on. It's not like everything's manageable. No. What exactly are you going to get done today, right? One thing, right? If you can get 2 things done in your daily Scrum, then you should announce them in your daily Scrum, right? So it just does one. But then you get the unplanned work, like the letter from the IRS saying we are now 501(c). So that's great news. So, but it's unplanned work, right? So I have to now plan, okay, when am I going to do this activity and all the things I got to do next? And now I got to lay out the plan for rolling it all out, right? But every day you just prioritize. And I want to say it's a beautiful thing in Scrum. Okay. Everybody wants to get so tech, and we're going to talk about tech and, technical details and how do you measure things. We're going to talk about that next. But the beauty of Scrum is that every day, and I wish everybody at a daily Scrum would just say, this is what I'm going to get this one thing done today. And if I'm blocked, I will let you all know. Or this is what I really need to do in order to meet the priority goals for the sprint. But I'm blocked right now, and I need help unblocking that issue. But if you would just say one thing every day and you're going to get that one thing done, that would be amazing, and you'll be so productive. It's ridiculous. So I just want to talk about that. I just want to share that because I saw just work harder is more complicated. No, it's work leaner. Work on stuff that's important. Do one thing at a time. Get it done right and get it done well. And that's the beauty of Scrum. It makes you focus on one thing at a time. Keep your blinders on to getting that one thing done. Anyway, I just talking about just not working hard, just working lean. This is 5am Mester Scrum. Please like and subscribe. Hit the little bell. Now I want to talk about it. And you saw, if you see on the, and this is show 64, right? If you saw on the preview, I put this light. It's a big light. Oh, I just killed the screen. Metrics. I see so many people commenting and asking questions about measuring velocity and doing analysis. And I know there's a lot of people that I would call it accountants, Scrum accountants, Agile accountants. You get into super analytical. Let's calculate this and make all this stuff. And I'm really good. I totally get metrics. I build dashboards all the time. I built metrics for everything. And the real key thing is like the guy who invented points is like, I'm sorry, I invented points. Because people tend to abuse it, right? They don't get it. They don't understand why. I look for, I share the spotlight, but I look for this one, which is a bigger light, right? Which is a bigger, wider light versus something like this, which is, I'm going to put the spotlight. This is how I view metrics. This is how an accountant views metrics with the spotlight point. I use them at a macro scale and not a micro scale. A micro scale would be something like looking at hours, like how many hours does a person work, or how many hours does it take to do a point, or how many hours does it take to do something? How many hours do they have left in their capacity? Me, I look at it at a macro scale. Is the change in velocity going up? Is the change in velocity going down? Is the change in velocity going nowhere? There's no change, right? So I look at the deltas. I look at the shape of curves. I look at one of my clients every once in a while, because I do a pie chart, and I gotta reach down. I get my little drawing board, so I do a pie chart on all my metrics. Let's just say it. Let's take tasks versus. Oh, moved around. So let's take tasks versus stories. So I have two pie charts, and this will be task, and stories. So I'm drawing two circles on my little whiteboard for those podcast people. And let's say I'm halfway in the sprint, and this is the macro look. I'm halfway through, right? So ideally, my tasks, how much is done, and this is the done part, and this is done. They want to know exactly what it should be. Me, this is the halfway point, right? And your first thought is, oh, my tasks should be halfway through done, so this should be done. But actually, tasks, and then you say, okay, story should be halfway done. I don't necessarily worry about that specifically. What I say is that I know the tasks should be a little bit further if you understand the process and what goes on. So more tasks, right, should be done past the halfway mark at the bottom of the diagram. However, stories will probably lag behind task and be not quite as far done as the other one. Yeah. So this is more. So more to the left. So what would happen is when you do a pie chart, you'll see the story should lag behind the halfway point in the sprint, and the task should be a little bit advanced at the halfway point. Tasks should always be in front of stories as far as getting stuff done, because the tasks, there's a lot more of them, and it's just, you always will get your tasks done quicker than you will your stories, because stories still have to get approved too, right? They have to get accepted by the product owner. And there it is, 6 o'clock. Ooh, we're done before 6. So anyway, so what I look at is the shape. I don't necessarily like, hey, this is, if I look in the stories and I got the halfway point, oh no, it's at 45% exactly, which is not 50%. Oh no, it's not exactly, it's exactly in 50% mark minus 45. We're 5% behind schedule. Oh no, we're 5%. I don't look at that stuff. No, I just look at the shape. Where am I sitting? And when you really know you're bad, so you really don't even pay attention, is when you're halfway in the sprint and their done part is only a quarter of the way done for stories. Then you know you got a problem and you need to go look and see what's going on. So I'm not looking to analyze. I'm just looking at the graphic and just saying, oh, we're at a quarter, we're halfway through the sprint. That's not good, right? Or the tasks, or if I have tasks, and like let's just say it was day one of the sprint. Day one sprint, and I got a bunch of tasks done, like on the chart. So this is day one on the task chart, and I have over 25% of all my tasks already done. You know what that tells me? Anybody? It tells me that they're carrying over stories and work from the previous sprint. I don't care that it's, oh great, man, we're at 20%, we're at 30% done on tasks, and we just started a sprint. Me as an Agile coach saying, wait a minute, how the heck did you get the 30% done on day 3 of your sprint? There's no way, unless you're carrying work over from the previous sprint, stuff that you had done or didn't get quite finished. My question to you is, why didn't you get it finished? And how do we not get that? I want you to start at 0 the day of a sprint. I don't want anything in there. So from a macro view, there shouldn't be anything on day 1 of a sprint in a task thing at all, right? Some people are like, oh, I got the numbers, and says, no, that's wrong. That's telling me something else. So I look things at a macro and not a micro. I don't look at it like how many points per person. But I see a lot of people out there trying to analyze and come up with some fancy Tokalytic theorem or something related to points of velocity and measuring people's output and stuff like that. I mean, I got 5 years of calculus from college, right? Graduated as an engineer. I can do all kinds of math. I can make math. I can come up with so many different metrics and stuff. But it's a waste of time. It really is a waste of time. It's bull, right? You don't need all that. Anyway, we're at the 1546. I think I went off on the metrics thing, but I hope that shows different ways of looking at it from a macro view. You don't analyze the numbers. You just look at the shapes. Is it forming? Is it doing the right thing? And with that, it's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Please like and subscribe. Do the little thumbs up, right? Thumbs up. Sharing is even better. I mean, if you want to share with your friends. I did get some thank yous for answering some questions for some people that sent some emails. So feel free to ask questions on topics, any topic you want. You can go find us on LinkedIn with 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. You can find us on Facebook, 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. You can find us on YouTube at 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. You can find us at Instagram at 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Maybe I should take a picture. I should go up and take a picture. It's dark out. I don't know what the picture will show if at 6 a.m. in the morning here in Philadelphia. But good morning. We're going to sign off. I hope you have a great day and happy scrumming. And we'll talk more as we go every day at around 5 a.m. So take care and enjoy and have fun. We're going to go off and do some fun things. I got some good stuff coming. All right. Take care, you all. And you have a great day. Bye. And we're out.